Alrighty guys, so really quick, I'm on the way down to Lake Tahoe right now. We're spending the next, 3 nights there?
Yeah.
She's got her flaming hot legs.
Stop.
And so we'll be there for the next 3 nights. And, but yeah, I have a few hours to get the video edit done. So if it's not perfect, well, doing the best I can in a few hours before we get down to Lake Tahoe. So hope you guys enjoy the video. The bed liner came out amazing, and be home soon to do some more cool stuff on the Silverado. Behind me, for those who are new, is my newly acquired 25-year-old retired work truck, the 01 Silverado with the 5.3 in it, 2-wheel drive, extended cab. And if you guys have been following along, this has been something I've been working on little by little. So I've done a few things to it so far: the 5-inch lift, the 315s, which are 35s pretty much, and a few things like that. New taillights on it, sanded down the bedside so far, the tailgate, have it ready for wet sanding today as well. And when I'm back in town in a few days, we'll get right on to getting the wrap done very soon after that, and getting the whole truck one color in that gloss silver. Gonna look really good. But for the meantime, as you guys can probably see, we have a lot of work to do here on the inside of the bed. It is completely tore up because it was used as a work truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand all this down, or smooth it down with my nylon brush, cut brush. Yeah, words are hard sometimes. You can kind of see that's 80 grit sandpaper I just used, try to get the rust off. It's on there pretty good, just so we don't have any risk of more rust developing, because rust does spread. If I don't get every little bit of it off down to however far down it is, I'll go ahead and just use the rust reformer right here, and that way we're good. So yeah, 80 grit sandpaper. I love this new pad I put on here. It's a soft pad adapter. You put the sanding disc on top of it, and it makes it flexible, which is really cool. It also reduces a lot of the vibration to your hand. So that was a bit more work than I thought it'd be, to be honest. We are hours later right now. We are well into the night, but very happy with where we're at right now, because I have the entire bed pretty much ready for the next step. I know it looks like absolute garbage right now, but everything is nice and smooth. Here's everything I kind of use so far, except for the rust reformer and the etch primer, as well as the scuffing pad. What I like the most so far is this nylon brush, the 4-inch Duragold nylon bristle cut brush. It worked so good for getting into all of these little recesses, the corners. They have other sizes too that are smaller to get into corners better, but I was able to reach every corner and just every bit of the inside of this bed. I did use it on the angle grinder initially, and I didn't like that at all because I have a 1-speed 11,000 RPMs. It was too much, man. Kind of sketchy, because if it goes haywire, the button's gonna stay on if I drop it, and I just didn't like that. So I moved on to trying actually a 180 grit. I was kind of experimenting to see what would work the best, and dropped down to the 80 grit. And by the way, the foam pad I threw on there, dude, I will never not use my palm sander without a foam pad ever again. This thing is so dope. Got a pack of 2 here from Amazon, super cheap, and it turns the sanding disc here into a flexible sanding disc because it's soft. It forms to the shape of the uneven surface, at least to an extent, obviously. But it's able to get in there a lot better than it being flat and hard. You're able to kind of get into these little recesses, right? So super cool. And I hit as much of the inside of the bed as I could with the sander. Then the wire brush as well. I got pretty much every bit of the inside of the bed. I want to make sure that the paint wasn't going to come off with the wire brush, because I'm like, well, if it doesn't come off with the wire brush, it ain't gonna come off. As of right now, every bit of the inside of the bed where all the paint has peeled off and the paint left behind, all the edges of that is all smooth now to the touch. I'm gonna hit it with the scuffing pad here. This one's equivalent to about a 320, I believe. Then hit it with the rust reformer there, because we got a little bit of rust left behind up there towards the window. And then also the etch primer for all the areas that are showing metal. That'll bond to the metal really good and protect us from corroding in the future. Etch primer is actually porous, so if we were to do just the etch primer and leave that, moisture still could get through the etch primer. However, the bed liner is not porous. So once the bed liner goes over it, then we are good and safe from the moisture. So I think it's an absolute must that we do the tailgate spoiler as well. This trim piece that came off the tailgate, sand it down and then hit it with a fine mist, turn the pressure up on the air compressor, and then hit it with a fine mist of bed liner on this would look really good to me. That's mandatory right there, man. So we'll do that. In the meantime, what I'm gonna do is hit the entire bed now by hand with the scuffing pad here and make sure I didn't get any area or miss any areas with the nylon brush, the wire brush, or the sanding disc. Get in all those tight little areas and make sure that the entire inside of the bed is nice and scuffed up. Very important that we have the entire bed all scuffed up, because the bed liner wants a nice rough surface for the bed liner to cling onto the bed. So make sure we have everything all scuffed up, finished off by hand. I would bed line the truck tonight. However, it's kind of late and the air compressor is kind of loud and I want my neighbors to still like me. So I'll wait till the morning on that. In the meantime, finish prepping it out, pull the tailgate off, finish masking off the rear end and get all the paint dust blown out, wipe down, and just ready for the bed liner tomorrow morning. It's gonna look so good. I can't wait for tomorrow morning to bed line it with a cup of coffee and some fresh bed liner. Dude, it is going to be amazing. I can't freaking wait. Let's keep pushing forward and get her done. Let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so now it's the next day, and what I'm gonna do really quick is scuff up the entire surface of the primer, because it did cure overnight, more than a few hours. We should scuff it up. If it did cure for longer than a few hours, it does cure pretty fast, and then we'll have it ready for the bed liner. So you guys might have caught it before me, but I unfortunately bought the wrong kit of the Raptor bed liner. There's a kit that comes with the actual spray gun too, but I have the kit that only includes the 4 quarts of the bed liner and the hardener. I don't have the actual spray gun that comes in the other kit because I just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, we're on the way down to the O'Reilly, about a half-an-hour drive from me. That was the closest store that had one in stock. Luckily, they have it in stock, so the day is saved. But note to self, pay attention to the Raptor bed liner kit that you buy. Make sure it has the spray gun if you need it. That spray gun is really cool to have because it makes it super just easy, because the bottles of bed liner, which have the hardener in my kit too, you mix in the hardener, shake it up in the bottle, and then throw the actual spray gun onto the bottle, twist it on there, and hook the hose up from your compressor onto the spray gun and start spraying. It's really cool. So what I'll do is lay down 2 medium coats with 1 hour in between, and then we'll pull it outside and see how it all comes out. But in the meantime, here we are at O'Reilly. Grab the spray gun and then we'll get back home and we will get to it. All right, now we are back in business with the spray gun. Heading back home right now to put the spray gun to work and get it done. But how cool is that, having door handles available on the shelf at the local O'Reilly for 30 bucks? So cool having this truck. The more and more I have it and work on it, the more I'm about it. I mean, I've had new trucks back to back for the last like 6-7 years. Totally hits different having something very simple, very raw, very mechanical, and very simple to work on. Parts are everywhere for it and cheap. if I had to get a handle for the Ram, it'd be probably a lot, well, yeah, it'd be a lot more expensive and probably be a bit of a wait to order it and get it to me, and then a lot more complex to install it. So overall, it's just really cool having the Silverado because it's just so simple, and I'm loving that more and more. The more I work on it, it's just, I'm all about it. So, alrighty guys, so here's the spray gun I just picked up from O'Reilly, and very simple setup. I threw the dip tube into it, twisted it on here on the bottom, and then the nozzle there on the front side, and that's nice and tight. We're good to go on that. And now with the kit that I already had, has the hardener and the measuring cup for the hardener to go into these bottles of the actual coating here, the Raptor protective coating they call it. Pour the hardener into these measuring cups up to the 8-ounce line, and then fill up each of these bottles with the 8 ounces of hardener, shake it up for a few minutes, and then go ahead and throw in the spray gun into the bottle, twist it tight, and we're ready to go pretty much. Even on the back of the bottle here, it shows all the instructions nice and easily laid out for you. So fill 8 ounces of the hardener into the container of the Raptor protective coating. That's this guy right here. Shake it up for at least 2 minutes, and then you're going to be adjusting the PSI of the air compressor to between 40 and 60 PSI, and spray an even single coat, allow an hour to dry, and then apply a second coat. So what I'll do is hover around the higher end. I'm gonna do more of I'm trying to go for more of like a finer sort of, mist of bed liner, not so much a rough texture. So I'll go and hit it at more of the higher end, the 60 PSI. Oh man, no pets. Should left you in the car. Whoops. We're in Mammoth right now. A little pit stop here on the way up to Lake Tahoe. And while we were here, I'm editing the video still, and I want to show you guys kind of one thing here in this footage. I forgot to kind of mention in the video was that on the second coat, as you guys can see, I stepped back quite a bit, and I did turn the PSI up to about 70. So I cranked it up about 10 more PSI to give me a very fine second coat. And so the first one was a bit heavier. The second one I focused more on having it be a lighter mist to ultimately give me that result of a kind of light sandpaper type of look, which is the result I was going for. So just put it on nice and even, and you guys will see here pretty soon that it came out pretty good and just the way I was hoping for. That's pretty much that. Lake Tahoe, we're on the way.
Eventually.
Be there soon. I know, it's a long drive. All in all, like 8 or 9 hours, including... Well, I mean, we stopped for some pies, and you got to make a road trip out of it too. You can't just go straight there. Life's about the journey, not the destination. That was corny, but
very corny.
Anyways, back to the video. So what I'm doing here now is peeling the tape off of the truck while the bed liner is still wet. Reason for that is because where the tape meets with the bed liner, if I wait too long for the tape to get peeled up, then the bed liner will stick to the tape and the tape could lift off the bed liner with it. I took it off within probably 10 minutes of spraying the last coat. So that's what we're doing right here to ensure we have a nice clean edge of bed liner where I taped it off, and to make sure we don't get the bed liner peeling up with the tape as well. Bruh, talk about it before and after. Oh my goodness, dude. That going from this to now this, insane. It's like a brand new truck. By turning up the PSI on the compressor, it came out just the way I wanted it to. So looking good, has a nice sheen to it also. And dude, I'm pumped all the way throughout. It's looking good. Also went down all the way to the bottom of the bed right here. So when you're closing the tailgate up, you can't see any white paint. Came out good there, and man, little rock got stuck right there between the tailgate and the bed. Oh well, it's all good. Chipped a little bit, but a little touch of paint won't hurt. It's all good. A little lean right there too, no big deal. Overall though, came out really nice. Line's not very hard right there. To solve that problem in the future, just press the tape down harder to avoid that problem right there. It's all good. We live and learn. It's my second time doing this. And also down here too, the line's kind of soft, but I mean, otherwise, I'm not looking for an issue. I don't really see any problems at all. The nice thing about the Raptor bed liner is it does come in a can. So if you want to do any sort of touching up, you can buy a can of the Raptor bed liner and do small little areas. I was going to do the wet sanding of the bedside right now and the tailgate, take it back home and wet sand that stuff and get it ready for the wrap, get it all nice and smooth. However, it's very important that we don't get the bed liner wet. It does need about an hour to dry to the touch, and then 2 or 3 days to kind of flash cure, and then it's ready for light duty stuff. And about a full week to fully cure. So therefore, we're gonna postpone doing the wet sanding of the bedside. Last thing I need right now too is for a freaking bird to come along and just drop a big old dookie right now in the bed liner. Wouldn't that be fantastic right now? All that's a reflection from the window, in case you guys are wondering, the lines right there in the middle side area, but a couple little areas here and there where it's not perfect, but overall, dude, it's looking pretty good. Plus, when the bed caps go onto the bedsides here, it'll be gone. You won't even see that no more. But yeah, I should have pressed the tape a little bit harder right there, I guess, and made sure I got in there better. But I mean, overall, at glance, without picking it apart, which nobody would ever notice, I guess, but just me kind of judging my own work. A couple little areas where I could do some touch up, but do I care? I really don't. I know your guys' eyes are going towards the peeling paint here under the window. Yes, I should have done that sanding already and primed it and got it ready for, wrap and all that. But I'll do that pretty soon here. Once I'm back in town, I'll be back in town in a couple days going to Lake Tahoe. And once I'm back in town, work on fixing up that area right there where the paint is peeling, and then move on to the bedside here, get it sanded down and ready for some wrap on the tailgate as well. And that'll be awesome. So hopefully you guys were entertained by the video, because it was a lot of work getting my clapped out bed ready for some bed liner. But if you guys are doing this yourselves and you guys don't have peeling paint in your bed or rust, then it'll be a lot easier for you guys to do. But in my case, unfortunately, it was in pretty bad shape, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please hit the thumbs up button. I'd greatly appreciate that. And I will see you guys on the next one very soon. Till then, peace.